Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a really cool and awesome deck profile of a deck that a lot of you guys over the last couple of months have been asking me, Seto, are you going to do a deck profile of the new Armed Dragon deck? Well, of course I'm going to. Like, I've even done deck profiles on this channel in the past of the OG Armed Dragons, and I mean, before the Ojama support came out, Armed Dragon. I've been profiling it off and on for some time, actually, on this channel. But I know a lot of you guys were wondering if I was going to do an Armed Dragon update. Now, there's a couple things I want to go over before we get fully into the deck profile. First off, there is new Armed Dragon support coming out. This is a very new deck that came out of the recent set. And the one thing you always have to keep in mind, especially when a new deck comes out, is there's a lot of variations out there. When I was researching over the last couple of weeks, and even prior to the set dropping, in preparation for this deck, there was a multitude of different deck profiles and, resources I was trying to gather so I could better understand the deck and how it works now with the new support. I was seeing rocket builds, I was seeing Dragon Link builds, I was seeing the OG Ojama builds, which I was talking about. There's a lot of different ways you can play your Armed Dragon deck. There's even pure builds, which this I would say is, while not a pure Armed Dragon deck, it's more focused on Armed Dragon itself. So there are different builds, and your build may be different than mine. But think of this as a template to help you out. So this is what I've been playing with for the last couple of weeks, online and in real life, as well as remote duels as well. So it's been doing pretty well overall. The cool thing about the Armed Dragons is they've upgraded the mechanics of how they work. So to level up now, you just discard cards and then you tribute it and then you get to go up. It's a lot different. It's a lot more quicker to go from level 3, level 5, to your level 10 now than it was prior. It's not as slow, as clunky. We don't have to Mass Dragon gets destroyed in phase, bring out your Armed Dragon level 3. In phase, you go into your level 5, then you level up until your level 7, and then hopefully you get into your level 10. You don't have to do that anymore, thankfully. That's for all my OG Armed Dragon players out there. The cool other thing to keep in mind is, like I said, they have a different way of leveling up now. Is a lot of them, except level 10 pretty much, have effects that they get off to search out other cards when they're discarded for an Armed Dragon effect. So you're getting benefits off discarding them. So if you're wondering, hey, why are you running triples of this? That's probably the reason why, because it doesn't matter as much as it would have prior to the new ones coming out. So 3 Armed Dragon level 3, he's very easy to get out using your E-Tele card, which is pretty much your Armed Dragon Flash, which is kind of like E-Tele in a way, because you can easily tutor this out from the deck to get started on your leveling up plays. So that's pretty simple there with your Armed Dragon level 3. We also run 3 Armed Dragon level 5, which can search things out. Armed Dragon level 5 is probably, along with Armed Dragon level 3, are the main building blocks you're going to start with when you're leveling up to get into your level 10. Because, like I said, with level 3, you can use your E-Tele Armed Dragon Flash. But with level 5, we can use some other quote-unquote Yugi support of Artillery Catapult Turtle. So this is used, with the Gaia fusions and all that stuff that came out late last year. But pretty much the cool thing about this is this can be lone fire for your level 5s. From your deck or hand, you can tutor out your level 5 Armed Dragon. That's awesome. That is so cool, because this helps you not have to do one less stepping stone to get into your level 7 and then eventually your level 10, right? So that's really awesome in that factor. So it gives more consistency to your build. Really nice card, definitely a staple, I feel like, especially if you're playing the pure version of Armed Dragon, more than if you were playing, say, a Ojama build, Rocket build, Link, Dragon Link build. I feel like more in this version, you need to run this as a 3 of. Next up, we run our Armed Dragon level 7. Level 7 is pretty easy to get into now. He's really, really good. I find The old level 7 we usually ran as a 1 or 2 of. This one's much better overall. So he's a staple 3 of in my opinion. Definitely you get benefits off discarding him as well too. Next up we run probably the most controversial. I think everything else was pretty staple 3 ofs. Is 2 Armed Dragon level 10s. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, why are you running level 10? I'm just going to click off the video now. Let me try to explain from playtesting what I found out. I, at first, was not really into running 2 Armed Dragon level 10s. I'm going to be fully honest with you right now. Because it can brick. It can brick. But, and the thing I kept hearing from people is, oh, you run 1 because you can recycle it easily. I don't know how true that is. Because, you know, yes, you can recycle it with Armed Dragon Lightning, but I found a lot of the time it wasn't as consistent as I would like it to be. And I found a lot of times, say one of my Armed Dragon level 10s somehow got destroyed, I was kind of up the creek without a paddle, and I was like, oh, dang, I really wish I could go for a second Armed Dragon level 10. But it's in the grave. I need to try to figure out how to recycle it more consistently. So, saying all this, what I'm just explaining is, I understand why you're running 1 of, but for consistency reasons, I'm running 2 of. In the future, I may cut it down once the new Armed Dragons, more of the new Armed Dragon support comes out, and you know the upcoming sets, main sets. I will probably put this down to 1 of. But for the time being, I'm running it as a 2 of because I find that a lot of times I'm not recycling it as consistently as I would like to. But maybe you've had different experiences. But that's just something I've been... I know people are going to go, oh! But it also helps out with your Armed Dragon level 10 as well. So that's another reason why I run it as a 2 of. Yeah, you can use, if you draw it, you can pitch it with one of your other regular Armed Dragons to level up until your other Armed Dragon level 10. But also, if it's engraved too, you can use it to help get this bad boy out as well, which is good. So it has its benefits as a 2 of. I would highly suggest if you're running level 10, not to run it as a 3 of, no more than 2, 1 to 2, and I understand. But that's up to you to decide. Armed Dragon level 10, this guy's kind of cool because you can use it with a combo play, using your White Veil to nuke pretty much your opponent's back row, destroy cards. Really cool combo play, like really cool, especially against back row heavy deck, which is really interesting. But it works with White Veil, which is easily search out. This card, if you guys are wondering, you're like, where's White Veil from? It's from a Duelist Saga card that came out ages ago from Duelist Saga. So maybe you have to go through your commons binder to find it. Saying that, this card's really good as a 2 of. I would not run this card if I was not running Armed Dragon. Is more of an Armed Dragon deck. Like I said, this deck's a little bit different than everybody else's maybe because it's people are taking different routes of building their Armed Dragon deck. If I wasn't running this deck as not as more purely as an Armed Dragon deck, I wouldn't run this card. Maybe a 1 of. But in this build, 2 of is perfectly fine. So 2 of this bad boy, he's really good to bring out, especially with White Veil. Next we run our 3 Artillery Catapult Turtle. Like I said, this is used to tutor out your level 5 from your deck. So that's why we run him as a 3 of. Because a majority of your, well, pretty much all your Armed Dragons for the most part, are Wind attribute, which people sometimes actually forget that. Tempest fits perfectly well in this deck. He's a level 7 too, which if you were trying to make this deck more into an Exceed based level 7, maybe you go down, you know, run a couple level 7 Exceeds, but he fits perfectly well in this deck and is easy to bring out as well. So I like him as a 1 of. We also won 1 Pancreatops. Another thing I want to mention as we're going through this deck, and I'm being very thorough explaining this deck because it's a very new deck and probably a lot of people are watching this video because they want to understand how it works. This deck, Armed Dragons are built to go second. Not saying that this deck is fully built to go second. It does have some cards that are more have tendency to be better if you're going first. You can play around with those, but this deck has more of a predication of going second, so you'll see a lot of going second cards per se in this deck. Pancreatops being one of them, which fits perfectly well in this deck because it's a deck that, you know, you want to destroy stuff your opponent has, etc. 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs. You can run whatever hand trap you want to. You want to run your Omega, your Gamma package. You want to run your Drill and Locks. You want to run your Effect Veilers. Your whatever you want to run, right? You can run. I like Ash Blossom because it's generic and it's going to hurt a lot of decks. So, and if you need to side it out, you can side it out for whatever hand traps you have in your side deck. Next we have the Armed Dragon Flashpoint, which is a quick effect. Do not discount that. That's kind of, now I won't say it's completely important, but it does play a factor in some regards. But 3 Flashpoint, this helps tutor out from your deck your level 3. We run 2 Armed Dragon Blitz and 2 Armed Dragon Lightning. Now, this card's nice because it can help you go for exceeds. Armed Dragons don't really use the extra deck a lot. They sometimes do, but they're not. It's not something you use consistently. But this can help do with that. This also can add, keep you having cards in your hand so you can use Armed Dragon's effects to get their effects off, etc. Armed Dragon Lightning over here. This can give you attack boosts, which is nice, and it can help recycle some of your Armed Dragons as well. So these are 2 ofs. I see people run them as 3 ofs. I'm not much of a fan of that. If you want to build more of an exceed version, maybe you run multiples of this, but that's up to you. I like it as both of them as 2 ofs apiece. On to your other card. We talked about White Veil. This card's really good to combo off your Armed Dragon of White. Like I said earlier, this is just... It's a cheesy combo, but it's really cool because you can blow up a lot of back row and destroy stuff. But I like it in the deck as a 1-of. It's pretty... You do win some games with it. Next we run 3 Pot of Extravagance. You need some draw power in this deck to get your combos off. You need to keep hand advantage so you can level up with your Armed Dragons. That's why Pot of Extravagance is so good in this deck. Some people may say, oh, I don't know about that. You say you use the extra deck sometimes. You do, but you're not going to use it a lot. So don't worry about running Extravagance at all. Next up, we run some 1-of spells, which we'll talk about here for a second. 1 Harpy's Featherstorm, or Harpy's Feather Duster, excuse me. Upstart Goblin and Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave, I don't like it in hand trap. Run it. It's versatile, etc. Upstart Goblin, I don't care about giving you 1,000 points if I'm drawing to cards I need, man. Makes it a 39 card deck. Like, come on. Good card in this deck because this deck is main deck predicated to bring out big dragon monsters. 1,000 life points is nothing, okay? And Harpy's Feather Duster. This deck, if you have Lightning Storm, run it. This deck needs to get rid of back row in a hurry, so I do like the Harpy's Feather Duster. So 1-of in the deck. If you have Lightning Storms, maybe you run those in this deck. I would highly suggest it, but I do not own Lightning Storms. Next up, I run 2 Armed Dragon of Thunderbolt. This is something I am quote-unquote testing. It's something that probably when the new support comes out, I may cut it. I may cut it tomorrow. I may cut it later. This is something I've been trying out over the last week and a half, and I'm kind of on the fence about it. Armed Dragon Thunderbolt gives you attack bonus, but you can't do damage directly to your opponent. That's not great, but it does help get around big monsters, which can sometimes be an issue, which is nice to have. Also, it helps you recycle your Armed Dragon spells. This is very helpful, I find, in the deck as well. So this is something I'm testing. It is a trap, but it's something I'm just trying out, and I'm still playing around with it. When the new support comes out, it may be cut altogether. So for now, I'm just running it as a 2-of in the deck. It's been pretty decent. The last card I run as a triple of is, I was going to run Infinite Impermanence in the deck, actually, but I was also trying out Dragon's Bind. This is something that I was also trying out as well. Dragon's Bind is interesting. It is kind of like a pseudo Vanity's Emptiness, and it's one of those cards that I've always said in the back of my head, this card has potential. There just wasn't a dragon deck out there that I was like, yes, until this one came along. The reason for this is this deck really fits well with Dragon's Bind because A, it's a main deck dragon deck. That's something to keep important with. It's going to have a lot of dragons in it. It's not going to really use the extra deck a lot, so this card's always going to be live. It fits perfectly well with the requirements for Dragon's Mind, but like I said, it's like a pseudo Vanity's Emptiness, and I really find that it works well in this deck. The downside is because it's a trap, because it's a Vandy's Emptiness, it's more predicated on going first turn. But I find that it's so good, if your opponent makes you go first, you got to run it. I would highly suggest running it either in your main deck or side deck at least. Try it out. Sorry it took so long to go through the main deck, I just wanted to be thorough. But extra deck will be very quick. We got our Dark Magician Field Center. We have 2 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. The reason we're running duplicates of a lot of stuff is because of extravagance. 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Do not forget, this is not just for fusions. It also can be used for some spell cards. That's why we run it. 1 Cerberus. You don't need to run multiples, but I just like the one up. It comes in handy sometimes. Double Phoenix. Double Unicorn. 1 Axis Code Talker. 2 excuse me, Super Rail Cannon Gustav Max. This is for some crazy little damage plays you can do. Along with 2 Super Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libby, and also 2 Divine Arsenal AA Thunder Zeus. Yes, I own 2 of them. Don't ask. I got them for cheap when they came out. But yes, that's where we run there. A lot of duplicates of things. So that's why it's been working well pretty much in the deck. So hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was very informational. I usually do not spend that much time on the main deck, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understood how this deck has been working, how it functions properly, so that when you play it, you understand. And if you're watching this deck, hopefully it was very informational for you, so you can understand how to play the deck better and build your own version of Armed Dragon. So till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. Remember, guys, to Chaz it up, and I'll see you guys next time, because remember, this was Chaz Princeton's deck. Chaz it up, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.